I just want to feel more appreciated. Y'all think we serve you. It feels like when I go to a trainer, it just feels like a 9 to 5. And then you want to shortchange me. I'm going to pull up to your workout. Okay, I can give you $20. $20?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I can't even put gas in my car for $20.
Yeah.
No trainer is sitting down in the chair and listening to me talk about how
Facts.
I want to be paid a certain amount.
It's almost disrespectful, right?
Yeah.
When they come to you with that. Just being honest. Let's just
No, 100%.
We unhinged. It's disrespectful. Which camera am I in? You out your rabbit ass mind asking for something for free.
I would say I have 3 people that really like rock with me. They don't go anywhere else for content, but if they like went somewhere else, I would feel away 100%.
I feel like one of my gifts is the motivation piece. When you can make somebody believe that they can become something that they don't even see in themselves, now that's my niche as a trainer.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You ready?
Let's rock. All right, y'all. Creatives Unhinged. We back with another episode. And today, there's no Janine. She's on vacation, so I'm sitting in her chair, keeping it warm. It's very nice, I might add. We have a special one for you. We're here with a trainer, one of the best in the IE, BK. How you doing, BK?
My guy, man. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure to have you here, man. There's a lot of things I want to talk about with you today.
Let's get into it.
Man, I'm here to get unhinged. Okay? So lately, I've noticed, I've been in the training space, recording a lot of the trainers. And I've noticed that recently you have to keep up a certain social media status to gain clients, and just that's how you be more decorated in this industry now.
Facts.
So you could just like talk a little bit more about that.
Facts. Well, going back to what you just said when you opened up the show, shout out to my dog, Jay Will. Janine has been very influential in teaching me the game when it comes to the social media space, branding, and just how to, flood the market with your brand, with your face, and with your product. You know what I mean? So for me, I've been fortunate to kind of have what I would call like a cheat code. Having one of the dopest creatives in the world as a dear friend of mine. So coming into the space that I'm in currently, I've been able to maneuver with the knowledge of how to, post my content, how to capture my content, the algorithms in which the social media platforms move, and just staying relevant, knowing what type of content to put out, things of that such. So it's definitely a daunting task because when you train like myself, I'm in the gym 8 to 12 hours a day, depending on the season. Yeah. It's tough to remember to post or even have time in between sessions to put content out. But I think it's necessary because it's a free platform that essentially is marketing for your business. Yeah. Which in any business, the main goal is to drive the bottom line, right? So for me, kind of knowing how and when and what to do with that allows me to grow my business at a rapid pace. And I've just been blessed and fortunate enough to kind of know the ins and outs. So for me, I'm okay with it. I can see some of the older trainers, shout out to all the OGs that's been doing this for years. Some of them kind of struggle with it. They just like your parents or aunts and uncles and grandparents adapting to the social media era, they kind of need a little guidance or a little assistance throughout that process. But I've actually been influential in a couple of OGs that I'm around consistently and just, encouraging them to post more and to pay for some creatives and videographers to come out to capture content for them. So I enjoy the space we're in, be honest with you. Like, yes, you can pay for the social media platforms to drive your marketing, but if you got a Janine Williams or someone of that caliber, then you kind of know the ins and outs, so you're able to do it without having to pay those extra bucks. But it's definitely a good space to be in, man, because the right video could change your life, to be honest with you.
Speaking on that, you met Janine and She put you on game. So like, how did you get into training?
Oh man, it's a crazy story. So obviously, I was a basketball player. I grew up playing basketball. I'm from the Washington D.C. area, Alexandria, Virginia, to be exact. That DMV area. So very competitive basketball. I was what you would call like a youth phenom. You know what I mean? So like I was really really good at a young age. Went into high school, did well. Went on to college, did well. I started my family early. So my professional career came to a quick halt and I got into corporate America. So when I got into corporate America, my wife and I started our family, everything from, having children to purchasing homes to just trying to grow as a young black family in America. I was blessed with the birth of my first son. And in 2017, he was diagnosed with autism. So I went into a very dark space, just as a man, as a husband, as a professional, just in general. I was in corporate America. I was in sales. So anybody that knows that world, is always, what have you done for me lately, right? Nobody cares about the humanity piece, as I like to call it, like what you're going through, what's your why, what's driving you, how's your at-home life, like things of that nature. So I got into a real dark place. And I just walked away from my job. Six-figure career, company car, gas card, the whole shebang. You know what I mean? So for a young black man in his late 20s, like everybody that knew me was like, "You're batshit crazy. Like, you gonna just leave this on the table?" But for me, I was broken. I was depressed. You know what I mean? So that's a word that alpha males don't like to use, to show vulnerability. But I was kind of lost. It was the question of like, why me, God? Like, I'm a basketball guy. I'm an athlete. I had two beautiful daughters already who were thriving. But I had my first son, but he took my namesake, and it was just like, damn, like, I can't wait till he's ready to go, and I get him on the court and all of that. And by the age of 3, he was still nonverbal. And it was some developmental issues. So when you take him to be evaluated by the specialists and stuff, they put him on the autism spectrum. So for me, I shut down for about, I would say, like 3 to 4 months. I took some stress leave from the corporate job. And then in that time period, I just told myself, like, what fulfills me? Like, what can get me out of this hole? And the constant in my life from 5 years old to now 36 years old, almost 37, has been the game of basketball, right? That's the one place that I would always find peace, find happiness, find joy. And the fact that I was fairly good at it, it always rebuilt my confidence. Even if I just went to the court and just made 3 or 4 jumpers in a row, it just made me feel like, hey, you the man, bro. You good at something. Right? That type of emotion. So I named my company Bet On You. And the significance behind that was I had nothing. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a blueprint. I just bet on myself. So that was where it came from. And I haven't looked back, man. And God is good, bro. It's been 6 years now, full-time basketball. That's it. So.
And you wouldn't change a thing?
I wouldn't change a thing, bro, because, it's the times of adversity and struggle and being in those weak moments that you find out who you are and how strong you really are. So me going through that with my family, with my son, with my career change, it really, really showed me exactly what I'm capable of and exactly who I am and who God has called me to be. So a lot of people search through their whole life to find their purpose.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like in those dark times, I was able to be introduced to my purpose, and day to day now I'm fulfilling it. So it's been a blessing.
All right, so you talk about your family and how, that basically was segue, you can say, into getting into the training. So how is that, trying to be an established trainer and a good husband and a good father at the same time?
Man, it's tough. I'd be lying to you if I told you it was easy. Shout out to my wife. Like she's a rider, you know what I mean? Like she puts up with countless hours of me being away from home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She supports me even when I know she doesn't feel like doing it sometimes. You know, she puts on the face even when I know she feels like cursing me out, you know what I mean? But having that support, and then just dealing with the reality of I invest in other people's kids.
Yeah.
When it comes to time, more than I do my own because of what I do for a living. So sometimes I feel torn, but it's a double-headed sword because this is also the way I provide for them. So, you know, like knowing that my children have a blessed life they don't want for anything gives me the insurance that I need to continue to move forward. But I would be lying to you if I said that I don't leave the gym some weeks drained out. You know what I mean? Especially when you deal with other people's kids who sometimes are ungrateful, come in with their attitudes and their energy, and they abuse the time that's spent with them.
Yeah.
They don't see the full spectrum of what the person who's investing in them outside of their parents is doing. So, you know, it's a never-ending battle with that. But again, I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose. So me impacting other people's lives is bigger than some of the things that I feel I'm falling short of from time to time.
That's crazy because it's like how do you do that? You know, obviously you got your training day to day, but during the summer, you know, I know you do a little bit of the AAU coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said earlier when we was off the podcast, you know, that's like the space where the kids are at home and you can really chill with them, but you still out and you still, you know, doing it, getting to it.
Facts. That's my high time. I tell people that the summer is like if I was a accountant, it's tax season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the summertime, it's tax season for a trainer because, you know, everybody's out of school. All your pros are off for the most part, outside of my WNBA clients. And then all the college kids are home for a stint. So I'm in the gym from 8, 9 in the morning till 7, 8 at night, Monday through Friday in this time of year.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So I've actually tried to get my daughters into basketball to try to, you know, those are my two oldest. So I tried to bring them into my world to see if they could fall in love with what daddy has fallen in love with himself. And I'm big on not being a parent who forces you to do something.
Yeah.
So I let my kids kind of, you know, naturally navigate themselves, their passions and things like that through life. So my oldest daughter, Lyric, she actually is trying out for high school volleyball right now this week. She's going to be a freshman. But I brought her in the gym during the pandemic, actually. She was in the 6th grade. And she was trying. Like, my daughter is 5'11". She's 14. You know, like, every coach for the rest of her high school career is going to catch her in the hallway and be like, "You not playing basketball?" Like, and I told her. So I was like, "Yo, you're going to have to do volleyball. You're going to do track, something. Daddy ain't trying to pay for college. Like, we got to figure something out," you know what I mean? But when I pushed it on her, it was a space where I saw her organically look me in my eyes and say, "Daddy, I don't love it." And granted, I've been blessed and fortunate enough to train some of the best girls the West Coast has seen in years. So when she would be in the gym with me all day, and then she would have to see a London Jones workout, she's like, "I ain't no way in the world, Dad. I'm gonna need my whole life plus an afterlife to be as good as London."
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Or a Jada Curry or a Rebecca Gardner or a Jillian Aileen, like different players that I've been fortunate enough to work with. Like that kind of deterred her confidence a little bit to where she was like, "I think I need to do something else." And I had to accept that, you know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna push the envelope again one more time because it's a lot of females that have the story of they didn't take basketball serious until like 14, 15. So with her measurements, I know she's never gonna get stopped. She's never gonna be able to avoid the question being asked, like, "Do you hoop? Like, do you want to play?" Like, so if
she's 5'11".
Yeah, she's 5'11". At 14, bro.
Yeah.
A size 10 women's shoe. My wife is 6 foot, so she might
get 6 foot.
She might be 6'1".
Yeah.
If you meet in the middle between mommy and daddy, I'm like, Lord have mercy. So I mean, we're working on it. So volleyball seems to be the passion that she picked up.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that all works out for her. And then my younger daughter, Halo, she walks on her tippy toes. She's strong. I call her a little Samoan. Like, shout out to my Polynesian people. But like, she's built like a little, like, boy, I knock you out, like straight up. So she's naturally like got that athletic build. So she just went to her first basketball camp ever. Shout out to Jada Curry, another phenomenal player I've worked with over the years. She was able to go to her all girls elite basketball camp this past weekend. So she got her first little taste of just competitive basketball and working hard. And she was like, Daddy, I want to work. Like, Daddy, can I go to the gym? So she's only 8, so I still got some hope there.
Okay.
Yeah.
She pretty tall too for being 8?
Tallest kid in the class. Going to the 3rd grade, looked like a 5th grader, 6th grader.
Might have WNBA on her hands, right?
Hey, cross my fingers. You know,
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
shout out to the WNBA, but y'all need to pay them a little more if my daughter going to shoot for that. 'Cause if not, we going to learn some Spanish and go to Spain or something and get a check.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
I understand.
Yeah, Title IX, man, y'all need to quit playing.
Just need a little bit more, huh?
Just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so another thing that I want to touch on is just like how in this space, well, for me, I'll touch on it on my end. You know, a lot of being a creator is tricky. It's tricky because people don't really value it, but they need it, which makes no sense to me.
Facts.
It makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, give a scenario. I got this kid. He's a 5-star. He's like, yo, let me get a mix. Okay. What's the price? You feel me? Like, what's your budget? You know? They don't like to pay.
Yeah.
So like, how does that look like for you when a 5-star or a decorated kid comes to you and is like, hey, I want to train with you, but I don't really feel like I need to pay?
It's tricky, man, because we're in a microwave generation with kids where they want things to be hot and very fast, right?
Yeah.
So you get kids that do a lot of clout chasing, a lot of faking. But also, I just think they weren't raised with the same values of reciprocity and respect and understanding people's value, right? Like, I was raised to hold the door and to say thank you and yes, sir, and yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So understanding how to respect people, respect their time, respect their age, respect their wisdom. It's almost disrespectful, right?
Yeah.
When they come to you with that. And it actually is, just being honest. Let's just,
No, 100%.
We unhinged. It's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Like, which camera am I in? You out your rabbit ass mind asking for something for free. Just being honest. But I've been there, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be lying to you if I said that I haven't done it, right? So those drive homes and those nights trying to fall asleep, like I was like, bro, you was a sucker. Like that's a whole 17-year-old kid. Like your daughter needs some new kicks, but yet you just gave them an hour and a half of your time for zero. Matter of fact, you spent some gas to get to the gym to train them, right? But I really blame the parents, to be honest. If they have parents in their life, and I'll give you a scenario. I've had some players I've trained in the past, and I'll just speak of 2. And again, I'm not here to say anybody's names or you know, because it's all love. We on the topic, but I've had a player that's been decorated at a young age, right? Accomplished, ranked, highly recruited, All-American, you know, Team USA, like the whole shebang, whose parents have paid me not only every single time I've trained her, but just times that they think they may have missed the payment. Like I see them and they like, we at dinner, they like, hey, don't worry about nothing. Like, I don't even know how many times she been with you. I know I paid you last week, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is a player that when you talk about the relationship being reciprocated, I can value and I have valued from just training this player, right? And then I've had a player who wasn't ranked, who was regionally popular, wasn't an All-American, wasn't highly recruited, whose parents never, ever attempted to pay me. You know what I mean? So it always left me conflicted in the strength of I was now invested in their child, and I never took anything away from the child. But it was just like, dang, like you're learning how to almost devalue and finesse people.
Yeah.
And it's an indirect lesson that you're learning because your parents, they don't feel the responsibility or they don't feel the need to compensate people for their time, right? So again, going back to Jay Will, like I never knew how much y'all edit, right?
Yeah.
So it was
It's
a time.
hard.
It was a time during the pandemic where we was in the gym. Me and Jay Will used to be in the gym every day, Monday through Friday during the pandemic. And she told me one day, she was like, "Bruh, like it's gonna take me 4 hours to chop up, at minimum 4 hours to chop up these last hour and a half worth of workouts."
Yeah.
So do you realize, like, you know how to count? I got degrees, right?
Yeah.
We talking a full 8-hour workday. If I come spend an hour, hour and a half with you, if it take me 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, right? We already at 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Then I go home, right? And I got to spend another 4 hours breaking up your hour of content, and you don't want to pay me?
You talking that talk.
Do you kiss your mother with that mouth? Because that's disrespectful, being honest. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of times I don't blame the kids because the generation y'all come from, I think y'all are oblivious. I know the last couple high school graduating classes haven't had to take the SAT. So oblivious basically means you're not noticing, right? Like you don't get it. You don't understand what you're not doing. But your parents should tell you like, oh, you're going to work out with BK again? That's 10 times in the last 10 days. How about we give him a couple $100?
Yeah.
Because he's got a wife and kids. So the fact that they aren't instilling that into you, I fault the parents, to be honest. And it's all love because even the ones that haven't compensated me for my worth, there's still been some value reciprocated in the relationship. So it's not all bad, but moving forward in my career, that's something that I'm just not willing to wiggle with.
You're not going to basically start that process over again.
Oh, I'm not with the shits. they can, yeah, you can cancel it. I'm telling you right now, I've done 2 NBA pre-drafts in the last 2 years. I've got all rookie WNBA player. I've got Pac-12 all freshmen.
Okay.
I got a current player in the in the current NBA draft. Like yesterday's price is not today's price. And in the last year, I've had another child. So now I got 4 mouths to feed. Yeah, you're going to pay that ticket.
Yeah, every time.
Period. Every time. Twice on Sunday. Straight up.
So do you have an off day?
Man, my off day is Sundays. Not right now, though, because I'm AAU travel ball.
Yeah.
So the month of June, I have off days because everybody goes back to their high schools, Section 7 and all that stuff. So I get a little bit of downtime. But from April to August, I feel like I'm 7 days a week, bro. Real talk.
So how do you, your mental, how do you keep that up, your mental health?
Man, be honest with you, bro, it's a daily struggle. You know what I'm saying? Nobody never checks on me. I'm always checking on my clients.
Yeah.
I'm always coming home to have to, check on my wife, check on my kids, My son, he hasn't outgrown autism, so I deal with that every day.
Yeah.
So I don't even have an answer for that, bro. To be honest with you, just the grace of God. To be honest, my mom is a praying mom. She's still around. My wife prays for me all the time. So I just think the grace and the mercy that's been spread over my life and put on my life is really and truly why I get through. You know what I'm saying?
So as a trainer, what's like the hardest thing to deal with?
Man, it's funny you asked that. I think, and I could be speaking just for myself, the hardest thing to deal with is investing in someone, believing in someone, building someone up, and then they jump ship on you.
Mm.
It's tough.
But like, do they jump ship like they leave then come back, or they just jump ship?
Or I've had the best of both worlds. You know,
Really?
I've had people that, I've given back to that monetary thing, discounts, right? Giving their family a break where their family is financially further along than my family is, giving them a break financially, and then giving them endless hours. I've had kids and players that when you train, you normally pay for an hour session, 60 minutes. I've had several players in the past, I'm training for 2 and 3 hours. They can go for multiple sessions because they just rock with me. I rock with them. I'm like, yo, I want to see you win. And then they jump ship for whatever reason. And a lot of times it really has nothing to do with you as the trainer. It has a lot to do with them as a player and as a family, where they think that they may obtain something else by going elsewhere, right? And that is one of the most difficult things to deal with.
Yeah.
And I'll be lying if I said I haven't gotten in my feelings in the past. Obviously, I'm the adult. I'm older than everybody I've ever trained. So even if it's only a couple years older, I always try to take the more mature, seasoned approach by not being like, man, get into all of that. But it's like, yeah, I've been, it's stung a few times, you know what I mean? From high school players to youth players. Now, I am also an advocate of athletes getting multiple styles of training, multiple styles of teaching. Everybody has different philosophies and different styles. Yeah. So I think that benefits a player for when they're being prepared to go to college. Mm-hmm. Your travel ball coach may not be the same as your high school coach. Your high school coach probably won't be the same as your college coach. So it's good to learn under the regime of different personalities. But I think there should always be a level of loyalty when you know that someone is capable of getting you to where you aspire to be, and they're 10 toes down for you. Yeah. So that part of the game is, there's no rules to it. And I always say, once they leave, I always have a saying of being like, they ain't my kid. Like, I got my own kids, and but that's the little silver lining in it. I'm really butthurt the whole time, but I'm like, it ain't my child. They could do what they want to do, but I've been salty. Definitely salty. And the funniest thing is, I'm friends with a lot of trainers, right? Like, iron sharpen iron. I follow other guys. I take and adapt some things from other guys, and as they do me. So we communicate. Like, it's not really too much of a crazy rivalry in the training space. So I would say that there's somewhat of a fraternity through the more elite trainers, I should say. So I've had clients, as of recent, in the past year, a kid that I was super invested in that started training with a real good friend of mine. And I told him straight up, like, bro, that one hurts. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, that was my guy. Like, yeah. And he's over there with you. And the kid made the decision because his parents were going to support him no matter what he did. But the kid made a decision under the false pretense of him training with my buddy, thinking that that was going to help his chances of playing at the high school my buddy coaches at, right? And the difficult conversation is, it's not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the part that the kid doesn't hear is myself and the trainer he's with now, we understand that. We agree upon that, and we talk about that. So he's good because he's like, bro, I'm not going to turn away no money.
Of course.
Right? Like,
never going to turn away no money.
Exactly. He would be a fool to do so. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, I didn't backdoor you for that, right? So it's all love and respect, but I was transparent with him, like, yo, I lost a couple, but that kid right there, man, that one hurt. Because I get people that DM me currently like, yo, what happened to blah, blah, blah? Like, you used to post him all the time. He was cold. He was like your nicest little, he was your little protege, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, he dumped me.
Like a girl.
left me like my man on Inkwell. You ever seen Lorenz Tate on Inkwell?
Nah, I ain't seen that.
Man, Lorenz Tate was sitting on the porch waiting for Jada Pinkett. She was in the house with the other brother. Sitting on the steps, had the flowers and everything. He left me out in the cold, man. But it's all good. I wish all the best to everybody I've ever touched.
That's good. That's good that you can be able to speak on that and not have any like bad blood.
Nah, it's
and I really like how like the trainers, the elite trainers, like they'll come to you even before the training the kid and be like, hey, what happened here? Like what's the vibes,
It's a respect. And again, like I just said, not to cut you off, that we don't own the kids.
Yeah.
But there's an identity that the kid is attached to that trainer. Because going back to your initial question, that social media space introduces you both to the world together, right? So everybody kind of associates you two together when you drop some dope content and this kid or this in particular player is looking elite in that content and it gets a gang of views and a bunch of reposts. Now you've got thousands of people that associate you two together, right? So that's kind of what makes that relationship come together like that. So it's different. It's different.
I feel like in my space, I would say I have 3 people that really like rock with me. Like they don't go anywhere else for content, but if they like went somewhere else, I would feel away 100% because I've been there from the beginning, and then you just switch up like that. Like
Facts.
I would feel a type of way.
Facts.
For sure.
Man, and to be honest with you, let me give you your flowers, man. Like you one of the youngest in the game, and you one of the most elite in the game. You know what I'm saying? You got into one of the most elite circles of content creators, and you've done a lot of work for me, and you get sharper by the week, sharper by the day. So it's like, man, like you deserve your flowers. You know what I'm saying? Because small town country boy came out here to the big city, New York City. We ain't in New York, but remember on the movie Life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you out here on the West Coast, man, where, the West Coast will chew you up and spit you out, you know what I mean? So you surviving, you thriving, man, like, let me take my hat off to you, man, because at 22 years old, I don't know if I could have did it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that.
You epitomize betting on yourself.
I appreciate that, but all grace and everything goes back to Janine and Sean. I tell people all the time, there's no way that I'm in this space without them.
2 walking goats.
Yeah, they're the reason I'm here, and I always tell them how thankful I am. Like it's a great opportunity. Cali different.
Yo, it's different. You killing it. It's home now. Like my friends say, bro, you from the West Coast, bro. Like when I go home back to the East Coast, they be like, bro, you a Cali dude. Like I never wore a pair of Vans till I moved to Cali ever.
Really?
Not one pair. Now, mind you, got to think I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
So Vans wasn't even really popular like that unless you was a skater or something. But I was putting on whole fits with Vans. And dudes was like, when I went home, they was like, bruh, like where we from, we wear New Balance.
Yeah.
We wear Nike boots. You know what I'm saying? We wear J's, we wear foam posits.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, if you ain't got no fresh, like, J's, foam posits, Nike boots, or New Balance, like, you ain't throwing on no Vans. There's no, alternative shoe. I came home with the Vans on. They like, oh man, cut on some Snoop Dogg and take his ass back to the airport. Like your man tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't even really wear Chucks on the East Coast.
Really?
Not in my city for sure.
That's crazy.
Like kids wear them a little bit now, but nobody just gonna throw in a pair of Chucks in the summertime. Like
Yeah.
completely West Coast. Shout out to my wife. She got me my first pair of Vans and Chucks. Real talk.
Oh, so she from Cali?
Cali, born and raised. By way of Detroit, she spent a little bit of time in Michigan, Detroit, the River Rouge area, Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So her family got ties to that, but she really a West LA girl.
Yeah, and now you gotta be interested. How did you even get out here?
So I came out here to play JUCO.
Oh,
So I got into some trouble. That's for a whole nother podcast. But I was a journeyman on the collegiate level, right? So right before I graduated high school, I got into a lot of trouble. Literally about 3 or 4 days before my high school graduation, I ended up going to IMG. Before IMG is what it is now.
you went to IMG?
I went to IMG, Bradenton, Florida, bro. Before the campus is what it looks like now,
Yeah,
I went to the projects of IMG.
that's crazy.
Yeah, legit, right? So I'm down at IMG. I got a chance to reinvent myself while I was fighting the case, just to kind of, everybody probably wondering, like, what are you talking about trouble? So I got in trouble with the law a few days for my high school graduation, deterred my initial college situation, went to IMG, left IMG, went out to Missouri State. Out in Missouri State, I still hadn't got my act together. It was a little too urban. Had some dreads, tattoos. Was a heavy flower guy. You know what I mean? So just didn't fit to be in that part of the world. Any of y'all ever seen Ozarks? Shout out Netflix, but Ozark, you know what I mean? Like, like you see, I ain't too many of me walking around, right? With my hair was a little longer than yours, you know what I mean? Locked up, and I just didn't fit the scenario. So got into a little bit more trouble out there. Nothing crazy severe, but to the extent of the coach saying, like, right before the season started, like, bro, you don't fit our culture, right? Which was one of the most difficult conversations I've ever had with the coach, because I'm looking a man in the eyes who I just signed a letter of intent with, 4 or 5 months prior, who was loving me crazy on my visits. I've always been able to speak and articulate myself, so he knew I wasn't just like no typical hood dude, but he didn't know none of my closet stuff that I had, with the smoking and the, just dealing with the girls and, all that stuff. He was like, bro, you about to get yourself locked up type of vibe, right? And he knew about my prior situation before IMG. So I ended up leaving that school the second week of September. School starts in what month? August.
August.
So I'm a month and a half. I did summer school, and I'm a month and a half into the fall semester. And I ended up signing my release to my scholarship on, I'm going to throw out, let's say Columbus Day. You know what I'm saying? Some random like September, October day, early in that semester. And I had less than 10 days before my PO would find out that I was not a full-time student, which was part of my probation agreement. Like, if you're not a full-time student, you have to go serve the time that the judge suspended because you were a promising student athlete that got caught up with the first-time situation. So I got a smack on the wrist like, yo, we're going to give you 18 months of probation, but that's really your first 2 years out of high school, basically, right? And your ass got to stay in school. So fast forward, long story short, I end up in California JUCO, which I coach now, full circle, right? So
that's wild.
it's crazy. So I came out here, my wife's younger brother was my teammate and my roommate.
Your wife's younger brother.
Her baby brother was one of my teammates in JUCO.
That's interesting. So you talked to your teammate's sister.
Yeah, behind his back too. Shout out Coach P. He's an athletic director at a California JUCO now too, up north. Like, he wanted to fight, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all good. It's all love. I mean, shoot, we've been together 16 years, bro. So it's all love, but it was a little greasy, little backdoor action, got caught ball watching, got hit with a backdoor. You feel me? So, that's all it was. But it all worked out for the best, because it sounds cliche, man, but the first time I met my wife, I told her she was gonna be my wife. And I ain't never tell no girl that ever. You know what I'm saying? So 16 years later, we got 4 kids and we've been married for 8.
Yeah.
So,
Heard you pushing for 5.
you know, my wife, she ain't vouching, but, I ain't doing nothing to stop it. I'm shooting for 3 like Steph.
All right, I want to just touch on one last thing to get back into the training.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of player to train? Do you like to start from the get-go?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know basketball and you got to teach them the fundamentals. Or you like them rusty, They got some of the tools, they got the potential, but they just need a little push.
I like the latter. So the second player you described, I like players that have some intangibles.
Yeah.
I feel like one of my gifts is the motivation piece, right? Like drills are drills, right? Like action is action. Skill work is skill work.
Yeah.
But when you can make somebody believe, right, that they can become something that they don't even see in themselves, now that's my niche as a trainer. So I like the player that has some intangibles, like not a complete beginner, has some potential, but just needs to tap into that potential and then throw the icing on top with the confidence. And then we have a 4 or 5 star player. You know what I mean? So that's my favorite space to meet a player. It's always great to get the kid from the ground up.
Yeah.
I haven't really dealt with a lot of little kids. So even though I've become one of the more popular trainers, I still don't have that, I got you from scratch. You were sorry you couldn't dribble, right? So shout out to the guys that got the patience, the time for those kids. And I'm eventually give me one, but I wanted to skip some steps. And I heard a trainer say this the other day, like, and there's no knock to him, but he was making a statement about some of these trainers get players that's already good, and I get guys out the mud, and they da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, there's no knock to that.
Yeah.
Like, but it shouldn't be a knock to the trainer that gets the elite players either, because it's a reason why the elite players are coming to you.
Talk your shit.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so I've been on both sides. I've got some players that were decent that are now good, right? No offers that got offers. I've had the cream of the crop, right? And I've had trainers feel some type of way about me because of that. Like, I was new to the area. I had some trainers that are veterans, on their last contract, getting ready to be, in retirement, need to retire, to be honest. Like, shout out to you and your legacy, to anybody that may take that as a subliminal. But I've had them, like, feel some type of way about me because I was a new kid on the block and I had some of the better players from day one, right? And shout out to one of my good friends, Trone Jackson, too. Trone was very influential in me in the training game because Trone is a Southern California kid, an IE baby, who saw what I had and he tapped me on the shoulder like, bro, let's get into this together. And I was kind of already training by myself, but he saw a bigger vision. And I would be lying to y'all if I didn't give him his flowers. Once I partnered up with him, it put me on a different platform. Even though we no longer train together consistently, it's all love. I talk to him weekly. Just couldn't see eye to eye business and day-to-day operation stuff. But he put me on the map. Janine Williams and Trone Jackson, them two put me on the map. So even though we all don't see each other every day, I know that I make them proud when they see me because they know where I've come from and they know where I'm at and they can see where I'm going. And they remember the days of like, yo, BK just got a gang of energy, but he don't know where the hell he going with that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's super dope, but he don't know what he doing with his dopeness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they was very influential in saying like, hey, bro, you should do this. You got to do that. And I took heed to that and we here now. You know what I'm saying? Still got a long way to go, but I'm nowhere near where I once was.
That's dope, for sure. I know Trump.
Yeah.
And I've talked to him a couple times, and I get that energy from him, too.
Yeah, Trone's a beast, man.
Yeah.
IE, baby, man. IE legend, for real. Like, and again, I love getting people their flowers. I wasn't training girls. I had 2 girls.
Yeah.
Rocking with Trone I almost primarily train girls now, right? That's a whole nother podcast, but girls are way more loyal, whichever camera's looking. You know what I'm saying? Girls are loyal. So I'm investing in the ladies' game until they paying them $400 million too. I'm gonna be one of them people that's there the week, the month, the contract that's signed when they pay these women what they worth. Because women are loyal. They work harder.
They're more appreciative.
Way more appreciative.
Every time.
So they stole my heart because, again, me saying that I'm passionate about what I do, like when I'm pouring into you, like, and it's not reciprocated, right? You feel empty, right?
Yeah.
You like, damn, like that. I just wasted my time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get with a young lady that lets you know that they appreciate you, like almost every last one of my female clients that are good and the ones that aren't even all that great yet, they've cried on my shoulder. We've prayed together. I embrace them. I can read their energy when their workouts are going a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And they appreciate that part of me just as much as they appreciate me enhancing their basketball skill. Like me being in tune with their emotions and just their energy, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I feel like that's my niche as a trainer. So, you know, again, all glory to God because that's me recognizing my purpose, you know what I mean? So.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we hop off?
Man, just let me know what I need to plaster all over the internet for typical rates for videographers because I need y'all to understand that creatives are in this space just as important as engineers and doctors because they can make your ass a millionaire. They can make your ass a celebrity. They can change your life. So if you don't value that, if you don't understand that, like, when I see Janine, I give her a hug like she's my auntie that used to cook me mac and cheese. Like, it almost gets annoying. I don't care if I just seen her Monday and I see her again Wednesday. I embrace her because she put me on game. Like, she gave me something, a vital tool. Like, people go to school and learn and get educated. Yeah. She educated me in a space that is allowing me to provide. So I just want to make sure that as much as you gave me my flowers and asked me questions today on y'all podcast, like, you know, what can I do to help push the narrative so that people understand the value for creatives and for videographers, you know what I mean? Because eventually I'm gonna get to the space where I could just retain you. You know what I mean? Where I could just be like, hey, Chance, here go 1,000. I need you to see you at least 6 times this month. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that cool? Like, does that work out? Like, you know what I mean? That's my goal. That's what I'm aspiring to do. So, like, what would you say? Just a public service announcement to trainers, sports and performance trainers, basketball trainers, football trainers, dance coaches, whoever. You call somebody with a camera that's getting ready to spend anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to make you look good. What do you feel we can do on our side to help push that narrative to make sure people are educated? You know what I mean? Like what do you think? Just in your opinion, just an open-ended question.
Shoot. Start getting, man. I feel like really, I just want to feel more appreciated. You know, like, and I'm not trying to be a B word or nothing, but it's just like, bro, like, y'all think we serve you, you know, like, I don't need you. I don't have to go to a trainer to get work. Like, it feels like when I go to a trainer, it just feels like a 9 to 5, you know, like, it's not fun. Like, I'm not having fun. And then you want to basically shortchange me. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pull up to your workout, you know, okay, I can give you $20. $20?
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Like, come on, bro. Like, $20.
Facts.
I can't even put gas in my car for $20.
Yeah, not at $5.15 a gallon.
It doesn't do nothing for me. Won't even give me a little, you know, a little dash.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like, I just feel like trainers need to just educate themselves, you know, and you seem like you're educated, you know, Absolutely. With the help of Janine. Like, you understand how much time and effort it takes to get into this space, you know,
Absolutely.
And to be in it and just prosper. So, like, really, my message to the trainers is just get educated, you know, find you a creative, you know, that knows what they're talking about, or just, I don't know, just sit there and watch them do the work, see how long it takes, and then you'll understand, you know. You doing that 1 hour workout, you go home, and you chilling, you
Yeah.
know? Or sometimes, you know, I just feel like just switch places. You know, I wish we
Absolutely.
could switch places.
Absolutely.
I wish we
and
could
and
switch
let me
places.
say this. Stop pressing them for the work. If they come to your workout on Monday, know they not gonna have your mix together by Tuesday. Sit your goofy ass down. That shit gonna be done maybe Saturday, maybe next Monday. Maybe. And that's if you paid them. So that's just something like, these are things that like,
Yeah.
again, Janine, one of my dearest friends, so like, I watched her. We was together on the regular, so I'm watching her record. I'm watching her edit. I'm like, damn, you still working on that same mix? She like, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
bro, this shit is not just no regular, like, little, you know what I mean? So I was blessed with that, but it's just very big for me to make sure that as much as y'all make us look good, we can help y'all look good as well, because it's a two-way street, you know what I'm saying? Like, and also evolve with the times. Right? If a videographer that comes and shoots for y'all was shooting high school games, and then you look on their Instagram and they at a LA Lakers game, you think they still gonna charge the same price?
No.
Goof ass. Like, the reality is, same with me as a trainer. I just said, I got WNBA all rookies. I got all freshman Pac-12. I got the National Defensive Player of the Year on the men's side. I got, like, I've earned more and more, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to degrees or clout or whatever. Yesterday price, not today's price.
Yeah.
So it's okay if you don't want to train with me, and I respect it, but just know that it's a smack in the face if you're looking to barter or looking for a discount when you see it with your own eyes, that my value has gone up. So that's just my 2 cents, man, because without y'all, there's no me. The way I was introduced to the IE, to Southern California, was from one of the dopest creatives to ever touch a camera in the last 25 years. You know what I'm saying? So that's why y'all know who I am. That's why I'm sitting on this couch today. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, obviously with the support of my family and the grace of God, but a videographer essentially made Bet on You BK a household name in Southern California.
You know, it's interesting that you said videographer. I can feel the ghost of Janine in the room.
Yeah.
She doesn't like that word.
Yeah, creative.
She likes creative. You know, I feel like people just think we are just video and photo. Like, there's so much more to it. Like,
Yeah,
bro, like
facts.
everything. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Creative to me, when I hear it, is like genius.
yeah.
It's like got that same vibe. Like when somebody says I'm a creative, it's like, oh, you a genius.
Yeah.
Because you just create. Your mind just comes up with just the dopest of things that most people don't think of, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's the same thing when people say, oh, you a basketball trainer or you a trainer. I'll be like, yo, I'm a skill development guy.
I like that.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yo, put some twang on my shit, bro.
You
like,
gotta put a little
you
twang.
feel me? Like,
Yeah.
like put some respect on it. So
little mignon.
no, I get it. And again, we're all creatures of habit. So that's where you hear me saying videographer and da. But again, like we're educating people right now because these are the typical conversations that most trainers, player development guys, coaches, they won't even have.
No, they're not sitting down in the chair at
Facts,
all. No,
facts.
no trainer is sitting down in the chair and listening to me talk about how
Facts.
I want to be paid a certain amount.
Facts.
They're gonna be like, you're crazy, you know.
Facts.
But no, if I come to you and I say, can I get a free workout? You gonna look at me and say I'm crazy.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? Now, the main thing for me, bro, is that I am in the space now where I want to pay before the work is done, right? And that's another Janine thing because I'm like, she getting ready to work for the next 72, 96, like she getting ready to work for the next 3-4 days on my shit. If she thinks that she needs to wait, what if she got a bill to pay? Or she need to do some other shit in her personal life, right?
Yeah.
But I'm waiting. She came and did the work, or you came and did the work, or whatever creative came and did the work. Now I'm waiting till I get the finished product. So they came and slaved, they blood, sweat, and tears some more.
Yeah.
Then you pay them on the back end. Bro, you might, like, that's bad. But people don't understand that.
They don't.
That's like you going to a restaurant, Roof Chris, and then you paying them Monday, but you ate dinner Friday. That makes sense? Make it make sense. And shout out to the creatives, man.
Thank you for being on the podcast.
Man, it's a pleasure, man. I love to be back gotta invite me back when the GOAT Janine is back in
Oh
town.
yeah. When she get back from vacation, I'll
Gotta
let you
invite me
know.
back.
I'll hit you up.
Our conversations, boy, you think we first cousins? We grew up together. Like
Yeah.
she gonna be on my head the whole time, guarantee you. But it's all love, man. I love what y'all doing. Thank you for having me.
For sure.